Yeah, welcome yogis. Hello, my name is Jason Gorenstein, and this is our Vinyasa Flow All Levels practice. Very nice to see you all here. Today is Monday, I'm sorry, why am I saying today is Monday? As you can see, today is Tuesday, June the 16th, and I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day today. So, hopefully you're finding yourselves well in today's practice, and you're going to begin to find your way back into your breathing. So without further ado, let us begin in a pose called Virasana's pose. So you can start in a seated position and just kneeling in a kneeling pose, and just let your breath become long and slow. So we oftentimes take this pose called Virasana, and Virasana is a pose that we take in order for us to develop a sense of awareness to our legs, to our feet. So the knees are going to come together, and just begin to allow that breath to become long and slow here. So the inner calves release to the outer calves, and you release the buttocks all the way down towards the heels. Now you can take your hands and you can bring your hands behind the buttocks and move the buttocks away from the heels here, and just take the hands and place the hands on top of the thighs here and close the eyes. So there's a couple of components to Virasana that help us to rather develop a sense of awareness to our body and our breath. And that'd be first just this component of sitting. So we're in this sitting posture, and we're allowing ourselves to be in this sitting posture. So as you sit, there is this natural liftedness of the chest. The outer heels begin to revolve in. The sternum continues to lift up. And then you continue to breathe here as you lengthen from the side ribs all the way through to the crown of the head. And from here, you'll begin to notice, or rather bring the hands back behind you and allow for the collarbones to spread wide apart here. So when we bring the hands behind us, what this does is it opens up the chest, it opens up the sternum, it allows for the collarbones to spread wide apart. So keeping this action, let the belly hug in, let the frontal ribs soften, inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling here. So wrap the outer arms in here and continue to lengthen through those side ribs. Good. And as you lengthen through those side ribs, keep hugging in the belly, keep lengthening through the chest, keep lengthening through the fingers. And as you exhale, you're going to interlace the fingers and point the palms or press the palms up towards the ceiling. So as you continue to breathe here, see that the backs of the feet are pressing against the floor. See that the inner thighs are releasing down towards the mat. Feel the outer ribs lengthening out towards the tops of the fingers here. And there is a softening here of the frontal ribs. So the belly hugs in, the frontal ribs soften here, and you may feel that you can get a little bit more length through the back ribs. As you exhale, lower on down, you're going to move the fingers over one more finger. You're going to press the palms forward in front of you and take the arms all the way up towards the ceiling here. So as we lengthen the fingers up towards the ceiling, we're going to begin to release the sit bones all the way back and down towards the heels. And as you continue to breathe here, you'll let, once again, your right fingers move to the right. You'll let your left fingers move to the left. You'll begin to pull the fingers apart. So as you pull the fingers apart, soften those frontal ribs, engage the belly here, and continue to breathe as you lift through the back ribs. So continue to lift through those back ribs as you breathe. And as you exhale, release the hands back down into the sides of the body. Good. So we're back here again. Now we're going to find our way onto our hands and our knees, and we're going to take ourselves into tabletop pose. So as you find your way onto your hands and your knees, spread the fingers wide apart. See that you're pressing down through the thumb and the forefinger. Wrap the outer armpits in. Continue to let the eyes of the elbows face the tops of the wrists. And as you continue to breathe in here, hug the belly in and allow for the shoulder blades to move back and down the spine as you hug that belly in towards the chest. As you exhale, tuck the toes underneath. Float the legs up and back. Downward facing dog pose. So as we take our way into our first downward facing dog pose, spread across the fingers. Continue to allow the inner forearms to lift on up. Continue to wrap the outer armpits in. As you breathe here, inner thighs continue to press on back. You'll release the inner heels all the way to the back of the room. Belly hugs in here. And you continue to lengthen through the back body so you continue to breathe. As you exhale, begin to shift forward into plank pose, the top of a push-up, and be here for a moment. See that the shoulders are spread wide apart. See that the shoulders are over the wrist. Press through the thumb and the forefinger. And begin to feel the outer triceps wrapping in. As you exhale, pressing through the fingers, float the legs back, downward facing dog. So this time as you shift forward into plank, you're going to notice the legs. So press back through the heels. Feel the inner shins lifting up. Feel the inner thighs lifting up. Continue to breathe as you feel the belly hugging in. And as you draw that belly in and up, exhale, finding your way back into downward facing dog pose. One more time. Inhale, shifting forward into plank. Good. As you exhale this time, lower the knees down onto the mat. You're going to lower the chest all the way down towards the earth. Walk the hands back. See that the hands hug against the side ribs. And let the forehead touch the mat. So already here, as you press down through the fingers, you're feeling the elbows drawing in towards one another. Now press down through the tops of the feet. Hug the belly in. Inhale. Begin to peel the chest on up. The elbows draw in. The shoulder blades move into the center chest. And you're hugging that belly in. Now as you exhale, tuck those toes underneath. Press down through the feet. Lift the chest up. Float the thighs back. Downward facing dog pose. So downward facing dog pose here. Spread it across the fingers. And continue to breathe here. Feel the inner forearms lifting up. Feel the outer hips lengthening back. And as you feel ready here, begin to float the right leg up towards the ceiling. So the right leg floats on up. See that the right leg is in line with the right hip. Right toes are flexed. The outer left thigh is pressing back. And then feel the weight traveling from the left hand to the right so that there's evenness in both palms. Continue to press back through that left hip. Continue to drive the right outer hip back as well. Good. Now as you shift forward into plank pose, begin to draw the right knee into the chest and round the spine here. So press more into the fingertips than the palm and allow the outer triceps to wrap on in. Good. Keeping this action in the arms, take the chest back towards the thighs, extend the right leg back one more time. And as you exhale, draw the right knee into the chest and step the right foot in between the hands. Release the left knee down. Release the left toes down. So you bring the right hand to the top of the right thigh crease. Walk the hand up towards the right thigh crease. Inhale. Float both arms up towards the ceiling. Urdhva Stasana arms. So continue to press back through the left shin. Left calf presses down to the floor. Left thigh draws back. Left buttocks hugs in. Take the arms forward in front of you. Begin to turn the pinky fingers up towards the ceiling here. Press down through the right big toe mound and draw the right outer hip back. So the belly hugs in here and begin to inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling again. So now as we float the arms up towards the ceiling, get very long in the back body. So see that the belly is hugging in. See that the frontal ribs are softening towards the frontal hip bones. As you exhale here, glide the hands back down to the mat. Step the left ball of the foot down. Inhale, straighten the left leg, straighten the right leg. So just a natural forward fold here, IT band stretch. Bend that right knee again. Step the right leg back and find your way into plank pose, top of a push-up. As you find your way into a push-up here, once again, spread across the fingers. Feel the forearms strong forward. Feel the triceps hugging in. As you exhale, shift the hips on back. Downward facing dog pose. From downward facing dog pose, we float the left leg up. See that you're pressing evenly through the left palm and through the right palm. So the right outer arm needs to hug in. Draw the right hip back. Good. Now keeping that action in the right hip, come high up onto the right ball of the foot. Draw the left knee into the chest. Round the spine here. So see that the weight travels to the fingertips as you round the spine. Inhale again, pressing through the fingers. Lengthen the left leg back to the back of the room. And one more time, draw the right heel forward, draw the left knee in, and then step the left foot in between the hands. Release the right foot down. Release the right shin down. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. Urdhva Hastasana arms. Press down through the top of the right calf. Hug the belly in, and continue to lengthen through the front of the spine. As you exhale here, glide the hands forward in front of you. Drive the pinky fingers up towards the ceiling. Hug the belly in. Press down through the left ball of the foot. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. So hug the left outer hip in. Continue to breathe here as you lengthen both buttocks, flesh towards the heels. As you exhale, glide the hands back down to the mat. Step, or press rather, through the right ball of the foot. Glide the left leg to straight here. Good. As you bend into that left knee, step the right leg forward. Inhale, lengthen here. As you exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. Urdhva Hastasana arms. And as you exhale, release the hands down to the side. So find your way into Tadasana pose. See that the fingers are spread wide apart. See that the feet, or rather see that the toes are spread wide apart here. Good. Press through the heels, press through the balls of the feet. Take the shins, take the calves forward, take the thighs back. So already begin to feel that the calves are drawing forward to the front of the mat, the thighs are drawing back to the back of the mat. Release the buttocks, flesh towards the heels. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling, Urdhva Hastasana pose. In Urdhva Hastasana, press down through the thumbs here and continue to drive the belly in towards the back of the spine. Take the arms forward of the chest. Extend the arms forward in front of you. Good. Draw or hug the shoulder blades back into the socket. So already here, the frontal hip points are lifting as the frontal ribs release on down. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling as you find your way into Urdhva Hastasana once again. As you exhale, hinge at the hips and fold all the way down. As we inhale here, come into Ardha and begin to lift up and lengthen. So now bend your knees and begin to lengthen that chest on forward. See that the calves are moving towards the shins. See that the thighs are lengthening towards the hamstrings. Feel the back spine growing long. Keeping that exhale fold again. Feel all the release in the body. Good. Inhale, spin the arms up towards the ceiling. Urdhva Hastasana arms. And as you exhale, plant the hands back down to the sides. Inhale, floating the arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, hinge at the hips and fold here. Inhale, lengthening halfway. Good. Now, step the right leg back behind you. Release the right knee down. Once again, inhale, float the arms up and find your way into Urdhva Hastasana arms. So press down through the right shin. Feel the right thigh drawing in as both buttocks release down towards the heels. Good. Once again, take the arms, bring the arms forward in front of you. Inhale, sweep the arms back up towards the ceiling and lift through the back ribs. Take the hands into the center chest. Bring the right tricep over the left thigh crease and pause here. So as you press the right tricep into the left thigh, begin to spin the chest up towards the ceiling. Feel the shoulder blades moving down the spine as you lengthen your chest on forward. Now tuck the right toes underneath. Press the right heel back and begin to float that right leg up. Very nice. Keep lengthening through the chest here. As you exhale, lower that knee on down. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, hands come back down to the mat. Once again, gliding the right leg to straight, gliding the left leg to straight. Bend that knee again and step your left leg back. Find your way into plank pose once again and be here. So, right now, noticing that the sternum is drawing forward as the heels are drawing back. Feel the belly hugging in. Notice as the belly hugs in that you can maybe even lengthen your buttocks towards the heels even more and wrap those outer triceps in. Float the hips on back, downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose, step the right foot in between the hands, release the left knee on down. Inhale, float up into crescent pose, or rather low crescent pose, Ardha Anjalyasana. As you press down through the left back of the leg, continue to float up the chest. Continue to zip up from the pubis to the navel here. Once again, glide the hands forward in front of you. Spin the pinky fingers up towards the ceiling. As you plug the shoulders into the chest, begin to float those arms up as you lengthen through the side ribs here. Hands come down through the center chest. place the left tricep over the right thigh crease. Press down through the left ball of the foot. Float the left leg up and begin to breathe as you spin the chest. Hug the right outer buttocks in. Press through the left heel and breathe here. So continue to breathe as you lengthen the chest, the heart, the sternum, and press through that back heel. Good. As you exhale, release the hands down to the mat. Glide the right leg to straight. Bend that right knee again and step the right leg back to meet the left at the back of the mat. Downward facing dog pose. Again, shift forward into plank. Lower the knees down. Lower your chest down to the mat. So as you lower the chest down to the mat, walk the hands back once again. Spread across the fingers. Hug the outer elbows in. Feel the shoulders moving down the spine as you begin to lengthen the sternum towards the crown of the head. Zip from the pubis to the navel. Continue to lengthen the buttocks all the way towards the heels. Maybe here, begin to squeeze in so much that the toes float off the ground. Even with the fingers on the ground, the toes float off the mat. That's it. As you exhale, plant the toes back on the mat. Tuck the toes underneath. Press down through the fingers. Float the thighs on back. Downward facing dog pose. So downward facing dog pose again. And just begin to breathe here. From downward facing dog pose, we're going to step our right foot forward in between our hands and spin the left heel down. So already setting up here, begin to draw the right buttocks in towards the midline of the body and press down through the left pinky toe side of the foot. So feel the right thigh drawing in. Feel the left outer foot pressing down and begin to lift the torso on up. Hands come to the hips here. Maybe walk those right toes forward just a little bit more. Good, so we have warrior two legs with the hands on the hips. You can lift the toes up off the mat. You can spread across the toes here and bend deeply into that right knee. As you bend into that right knee, feel the left side of the chest lengthening open and bend deeper into that knee. Good. Inhale, extend the arms out to the sides. So spread across the toes here. Feel the left arm drawing back. Feel the right arm drawing forward. Feel yourself sitting more deeply into those legs. As you sit more deeply into the legs, feel the sternum lengthening up. Feel the collarbones beginning to spread across the chest as you lengthen through the fingers. And as you exhale here, you're going to straighten through that right leg and re-bend deeper into that right knee. So we hold this pose for a moment in order to gain stability and momentum in the body. Press through the left heel. Look over the right fingers here and continue to draw the belly in as you lengthen from your left shoulder to the left fingers, from your right shoulder to the right fingers. Feel the left buttocks, feel the left outer foot pressing down, feel the right ball of the foot pressing down. Good. From here, begin to inhale, windmill the right arm up towards the ceiling, reverse the warrior. As you exhale, glide the hands down to the mat. Step your right leg back to meet the left. Find your way into downward facing dog pose again. Downward facing dog pose here. Step the left foot in between the hands. Spin the right heel down. So see that the left foot is in the center of the mat. Plug the left outer hip in. Press through the right outer ball of the foot and float the arms out to the sides. Warrior two. So as we ground our foundation through warrior two, feel the left heel pressing down. Feel the left buttocks drawing in. Extend through the right arm. Extend through the left arm. Continue to breathe here. Hug the belly in towards the chest. Continue to lengthen through both arms all the way out through the fingers. Good. So we're going to straighten this leg once again and bring the hands to the hips. One more time, re-bend into those knees and see that the right outer foot is pressing down and the left knee is bending to 90 degrees. Draw the left buttocks in. Arms extend out to the sides. So as you breathe here, continue to sink deeper into those legs. Continue to breathe as you extend through those arms. Feel yourself grounding through the legs. So the left calf is moving towards the left shin. The left thigh is moving towards the left hamstring. Shin is parallel to the wall. Thigh is parallel to the floor. Inhale, reverse the left hand up and raise the arm out towards the ceiling. As you exhale, glide both hands down to the mat. Step your left leg back and downward facing dog pose. Good. From downward facing dog again, we'll shift forward into plank. We'll lower the knees down. We'll lower the chest down all the way. Take the toes underneath. Walk the hands back. Inhale, peel up the chest. As you exhale, lower the head on down. So walk the hands up and keep drawing the shoulder blades into the center chest. You can come up high onto the fingertips here. You can allow the inner forearms to draw back, allow the tops of the shoulders to draw in, and breathe here. Inhale, float the right leg up. Good, so hug the right outer hip in as you do so. Lift from the right inner leg. As you exhale, lower that leg down. Inhale, float the left leg up. So press down through the right toes as you lift through the left inner leg. As you exhale, lower that foot down. Inhale, float both feet up. Let the pinky toe side of the foot release down to the mat. Engage your core muscles and breathe here. As you exhale, lower the head on down. Take the hands to the mat, press through the fingers. Inhale, peel up the chest. Exhale, pressing your way on back. Downward facing dog pose. Adho Mukha Shavasana, downward facing dog pose. As you find your way into downward facing dog pose, continue to lengthen the hips back towards the back of the room. Continue to lengthen the heels back towards the back of the room. Very good. And once again, we're going to step the right foot in between the hands. Right foot steps on forward. Spin the left heel down. Inhale, float up. Warrior two legs. From warrior two legs, straighten through that right leg. See that the right heel is in line with the right knee, is in line with the right hip. Allow the right outer hip to draw back. Allow the left outer hip to move forward. Press to the left big toe side, the left pinky toe side of the foot. Begin to take the arms out to the sides and lengthen the right side of the chest forward as you draw the right outer hip back. Release the right palm down the right leg. Extend the left arm up towards the ceiling. So as you press through the right ball of the foot, begin to add a light bend to that right knee, right calf to right ham, or right calf to right shin. Draw the right outer buttocks back and in. Feel the left ball of the foot pressing down. Spin the left side of the chest up towards the ceiling here as you breathe. So maintain a length through the front of the chest. Allow the shoulders to move away from the ears here. Continue to lengthen through the sternum. Continue to release the head back towards the back of the room. Now take your left hand, place it on your left hip, and from here look down at the mat. Bend into that right knee and begin to place your right hand inside of your right leg. So as you bend into that knee, drive the right tricep or drive the right knee in towards the right tricep. Allow the right shoulder to move back and away from the right ear. Press to the left outer ball of the foot. So the right knee can bend a little bit more deeply. And as the knee bends more deeply, keep lifting through the left side of the chest. Inhale, float the left arm up towards the ceiling here. So continue to breathe here as you open up the chest and heart, and then lengthen the left arm up towards the ceiling. Straighten through the right leg. One more time, bend through that right knee. Windmill the hands back down to the mat. Step your right leg back to meet the left. Shift forward, plank pose. Chaturanga Dandasana if you'd like. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha, upward facing dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha, downward facing dog pose. So spread across the fingers. Feel the inner forearms lifting up. Wrap your outer armpits in here and allow for the hip bones to lengthen back towards the heels. Good. Step the left foot in between the hands. Spin the right heel down. Inhale, floating the arms up, warrior two, and then take the hands to the hips. Straighten through the left leg. So again here, we look at the left leg, see that the left shin, left knee, left thighs, all in one line. Right foot is turned in. From here, draw the left buttocks back, draw the right hip forward. Good. Take the arms out to the sides, hinge at those hips. Release the left hand down the leg. Extend the right arm up towards the ceiling. So see that the left calf moves into the left shin. See that the right arm extends all the way up towards the ceiling. Keep pressing through the right ball of the foot. Keep lengthening through the right side of the chest. Inhale as you breathe here. So as you continue to maintain this length in the body, float the right arm up towards the ceiling here. So the right arm lifts us up and we come back into triangle legs. Then we move into warrior two legs. So you bend into that left knee. Once again, left calf to left shin, left thigh to left hamstring. Keep sinking deeper. Pin the left buttocks in. So the left outer hip is drawing in towards the right side of the room. You'll take your hands out to the sides once again. Hinge at those hips one more time and place the left hand inside of the left leg. Right arm up towards the ceiling here. Now take the right hand, release it down to the hip. As you press to the right pinky toe side of the foot, draw the right outer hip back. As you press to the left ball of the foot, draw the left hip in. See that the left side of the chest is lengthening forward here, and draw the chest up towards the ceiling. Inhale, float the right arm up. So the body is actually getting longer and is lifting here, even though we're bending deeply into that left knee. So you're pressing to that right hand, you're pressing to the right foot. Inhale, float the chest up. Windmill the hands back down to the mat. Step your left leg to meet the right. Downward facing dog. Again, shift forward plank. You can either move through a vinyasa or straight into downward facing dog pose. Eventually, we meet up in downward facing dog pose here. From downward facing dog pose, you're going to look in between the hands, walk the feet forward towards the hands. Inhale, lengthening the chest halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms up towards the ceiling and bending through the knees. Utkatasana chair pose. So you exhale, straighten through the legs and release the arms to the side. So take yourself, your props, place a block in between your legs, place a block in between your hands. And then from here, you're going to hold this block, squeezing the block together in between your legs, squeezing the block together in between your hands. You're going to begin to bend those knees, bend those knees, bend those knees, and take those arms forward in front of you. Press the palms in towards the block, draw the shoulder blades in towards the center chest, sink a little bit deeper. As you inhale here, float those arms up. So keep squeezing the block in between the legs, keep squeezing the block in between the hands, and see if you can hug the belly in. Then you're going to straighten the legs and release the hands forward and in front of you. We're going to do this 5 times. So start by inhale, floating the arms up. You don't need to bring the hands back behind the head. You can bring the hands over the top crown of the head or slightly forward of the head. As you exhale, squeeze the legs together. Begin to bend those knees. See that the calves are moving towards the shins. See that the thighs are moving towards the hamstrings. Press through the fingers here. Lengthen through the chest. And then press through the feet to straighten the legs. And exhale, lower the hands down. Good. 4 more. Inhale, float the arms up. As you exhale, bend the knees. Squeeze the legs together. Squeeze the legs together. Squeeze the legs together. So continue to sit down into that chair, lifting through the chest, lifting through the heart, lifting through the sternum. Straighten through those legs. Release the hands down in front of you. 3. Inhale, float the arms up. As you exhale, bend the knees, bend the knees, bend the knees. Utkatasana chair pose. Keep bending the knees. Keep pressing the hands into the blocks. Straighten the legs. And arms come to the sides. 2 more. So really nice strengthening exercise for the arms and the legs. Arms come up. Bend the knees. Bend the knees. Bend the knees. So once again, calves are forward. Thighs are down. Lift the chest. And straighten the legs. Okay, on the last one, no more block is needed. You're just going to take the hands up again. You can bring the legs together if you want, or knees can be about hips width distance apart. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, bend the knees. It should be a lot easier this time. Now take the hands to the center chest. Take the right tricep over the left thigh crease and find your way into a side twisting triangle or twisting chair pose. Breathing here and continuing to lift your chest off of that right thigh or left thigh. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, change sides. So hands come to the center chest. Left tricep over the right thigh. And breathe here. So keep pressing your hands down and towards one another. Drive the right hip back. Breathe as you lengthen the chest up forward. Inhale, float the arms up. As you exhale, glide the hands back to the sides. Inhale once again. Float those arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthening here. As you exhale, walk the feet back. Find your way into top of a push-up. Lower down. Inhale, peeling up. Exhale, pressing back. Downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose. Step the right foot in between the hands. Walk the right toes over to the right. See that the right ball of the foot's pressing down. See that the right heel is pressing down. Let the right calf drive forward into the right shin. Let the right thigh press down. Hug both outer hips in and press that left heel back. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling here. So Urdhva arms, it's called Anjali Asana pose. Take the arms forward in front of you again. Glide the pinky fingers up towards the ceiling. Hug the belly in. Inhale, float the arms up again. Imagine you had a block in between your hands and you're squeezing the arms together. You're wrapping those outer trapezius muscles in. As you exhale here, hinge on forward. Good. Pause here. Now, begin to spin onto the left ball of the foot. Walk the right toes out to the right. Inhale, float the right arm up towards the ceiling for a variation of Vashisthasana pose. Pause here. Take your right fingers outside of your leg. Now, begin to bend both elbows into Chaturanga Dandasana. You can stay here. Some of us are going to drive the left elbow in, drive the right elbow in, and begin to feel that floatingness as you move into Ekapada Kundanyasana. Now, release that foot down. Float the right leg back, and be here in our downward facing dog pose. I always, it even made trip myself up in the poses. Okay, step your left foot forward in between your hands. All right, see that your left heel is pointing down. See that the left ball of the foot's pointing down. See that the left calf is driving to the shin. Left thigh to the hamstring. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. So we're here in our posture. Good. From here, glide the hands forward in front of you. Inhale, spin the arms up towards the ceiling. So once again, now we're lengthening through the fingers. As you exhale here, glide the hands forward. I'm sorry. Whoop. I don't know how I... Okay. Inhale, glide the arms up again. One more time. I'm sorry, guys. And as you feel ready, yes, exhale. Bring the hands forward down inside the leg. Now walk the left toes out to the left. Plant the right palm down. Spin the right heel out to the side. Inhale, float the left arm up. So it's a variation of Vashisthasana. It's not quite Vashisthasana. Left hip is driving back. Right hip is driving forward. The chest is lifting. Very nice. You're going to take both of your hands in. You can stay here. This is like, it's called wizard's pose. Not quite sure the regular name. But you can walk those hands back just a little bit more. Okay? Arms are straight to start, and then we begin to bend those elbows. Bend the elbows like you're taking Chaturanga. And then you just begin to walk your left leg out to the left. Inhale, lift the chest on up, and float both legs out to the sides. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, floating that leg on back. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog pose again. Good. Downward facing dog pose here. Step the right foot in between the hands. Spin the left heel down this time. Hug the outer thighs in towards each other as you lift the chest up. Hands are on the hips. Warrior one pose. So let's start with the legs. Plant down the legs. Calf towards shin, thigh to hamstring. Inhale, float the arms on up. So warrior one pose here. From warrior one, straighten through the right leg. Take the hands behind the back. Bring the fingers to touch. Spread across the fingers here. As you press or step the left foot in slightly. Good. Now turn your left hip to the right side of the room. Press through the right ball of the foot. Draw the right hip back towards the left thigh and begin to lengthen the chest on forward here. As you lengthen the left side of the chest to the right foot, draw the right hip towards the left heel. Continue to breathe here. Continue to lengthen. Good. One more time. Inhale, lengthening on up. Bend deeply into that right knee. Float the arms up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, forward fold. Take your right leg to meet the left. Find your way through a vinyasa. So shift forward plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Shavasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Shavasana. Downward facing dog pose. Again, downward facing dog. Nope. Before we do that, shift forward into plank. Now, take the toes together. See that the heels keep lengthening back. Good. And then shift the weight all the way over onto the outer left foot. Inhale, float the right arm up. Vashisthasana pose. Very nice. So keep lengthening through the left side of the chest. Keep lengthening through the right side of the chest, all the way up towards the right fingers. As you exhale, lower that right palm down. All right, there we go. Feet are together. Float onto the other side. Inhale, Vashisthasana pose. So see that your right side of the chest is to the right armpit. See that right shoulder is hugging back. See that the fingers are extended. Exhale, lower that hand on down. Float the legs on back, downward facing dog. Okay, now let's step the left foot in between the hands. Spin the right heel down. So it's a heel to heel or wider stance. Left shin moves to the left calf, or left calf moves to the left shin. Left thigh moves to the left hamstring. Inhale, float your arms up towards the ceiling. So once again, we're back here in our Warrior One pose. Get deep in those legs, get deep in those feet. Feel the weight drawing into the feet. That's it. Press the right thigh back, bend deeply into the left knee, hug the left buttocks in. Straighten through the left leg. Hands come back behind you. Take the hands to the low back. Walk the hands up the spine. Press to the right outer foot. Drive the right hip forward. Continue to breathe here as you lengthen the right side of the chest to the left foot. Continue to draw the left hip back. Good. As you continue to lengthen here, see that the left hip drives back to the right heel. See that the right hip drives forward to the left foot. Continue to breathe. Inhale, floating the chest on up. Bend deeply into the left knee. Inhale, float those arms up. As you exhale, hands come down to the mat. Step the left leg back. Shift forward into plank pose. Lower the knees down. Lower the chest all the way down towards the mat. Very nice. Take the hands now. Walk the hands back. See that the palms are facing the ceiling. And begin to lift the chest up here. See that the sternum draws forward towards the crown of the head. See that the shoulder blades move down the spine. See that the collarbones spread wide apart. So that lets the top of the chest open up. Maybe the thumbs start to move towards the floor more than the pinkies. And then as you feel ready, float the right leg up. So keep that right leg lifted. Hug the right thigh into the midline of the body. Feel the right inner leg lifting up. Float the left leg up. So as the left leg floats up, draw both big toe mounts towards one another. Lift through the inner legs. Float both arms up. Continue to hug the belly in as you lengthen the buttocks towards the heels. Good. As you exhale, hands come down to the mat. Press down through the feet. Find your way back into downward facing dog pose. Adho Mukha Shavasana. Downward facing dog pose. From downward facing dog pose, again, we step the right foot in between the hands. We spin the left heel down. Inhale, float the arms up. Warrior One. Straighten through that right leg. Take the hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers here. Pull the fingers down the back. Bend into that right knee. And begin to lift through the chest. That's it. As you exhale, hinge on forward, and we're in Humble Warriors pose. Good. So keep taking the left shoulder towards the right leg. Keep pressing back through that right heel. Very nice. From Humble Warriors pose, inhale, peel up the chest again, and lift those arms up towards the ceiling. Now spin onto the left ball of the foot. Bend deeply into that right knee. Bend the left knee down to the floor. Tap it down. Bring the hands into the center chest. Inhale. Float those arms back up towards the ceiling. Press to the left heel to straighten that leg. And bring the hands back into the center chest again. Good. As you exhale, take your left bicep over the right thigh one more time. Press down firmly into that right thigh. Left tricep into right thigh. Lift from the right side of the chest. Release the left hand down to the mat. Extend the right arm up towards the ceiling. Now take the right hand back behind you. You can pause here. Keep pressing through that right heel. Keep bending into that left knee. Maybe begin to bind the hands underneath the chest. Lift up through the chest. Lift up through the heart. Keep pressing through that right heel as you bring both shoulder blades down the back. Release the bind. Take the hands back to center. Inhale, lift up. Straighten through the right leg. As you exhale, hinge on forward. You may need to walk your left toes forward and release the entire torso on down towards the mat. This is called Parsvatonasana pose, releasing the head on down. From Parsvatonasana pose, bend the right knee, step the right leg back, and move through a vinyasa. Shift forward into plank, lowering down halfway. Inhale, peeling up the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. So now, as we focus on the left side, step the left foot in between the hands. Spin the right heel down. Inhale, float the arms up. Warrior One. So from Warrior One pose, keep pressing into that right outer foot. Keep taking the right thigh back. Take the hands and bring the hands behind the back body. Bend deeply into that left knee. Draw the hands down the back body here to lift the chest up. As you exhale, hinge at the hips and fold. Draw the right shoulder towards the left foot. Draw the left outer hip back. Pin the left outer hip in. That's it. Continue to breathe here as you lengthen through the chest. Now as you feel ready, inhale, float the arms back up. Inhale, lift the arms up towards the ceiling. Take the hands into the center chest, bend into the right knee, lower the right knee down onto the mat, bring the hands into the center chest. Float the arms up again. You can stay here and bring the hands into the center chest, right tricep over left thigh. Or if you want, you can lift through that right leg, bring the hands into the center chest and right tricep over the left thigh. And be here. Now press back through the right heel a lot. The right leg's lifting up towards the ceiling, and try to lift up the chest off of that left thigh. Now take the left hand, bring it to the ceiling, right hand to the floor. You can stay here. Some of us will take the left hand behind the back. You can pause here. You can, if you want, take your hands and interlace them underneath your leg. Press that right heel back. Bend deeply into that left knee. Keep lifting the chest off of the thigh. As you turn the right hip down, lift the left chest up. Release the bind. Inhale, back to center. As you exhale, glide your hands down to the mat. Step your right foot forward, straighten the left leg, and find your way back into Parsvatonasana pose. Nice deep forward fold. Hip flexor. Psoas stretch. Bend into that left knee again. Step the left leg back to meet the right. Shift forward into plank. Lower the knees down. Lower the chest all the way down to the mat. Good. So as you feel ready here, you can move into any one of the many inversions. You could take the legs up the wall. You could move into a headstand. For today, I'm going to be teaching us how to move on into handstand pose. So you guys can join me if you want to move into handstand pose. So to move into handstand, what you're going to do is you're going to start actually by, we're actually going to start in a different pose called Bakasana, and then we're going to build up from there. So spread across the fingers. Begin to bend the knees. Walk the hands back. See that the hips are high up. You'll bend the knees. Firm the outer thighs in. So the outer knees are hugging in towards the outer triceps. And then you lengthen the chest forward. Maybe you lift one leg up. Maybe you lift both legs up. Keep firming those thighs in. Keep firming those thighs in and looking up. Maybe straighten the arms. And then exhale, lower all the way down. So that's kind of going to give you an impression if you're ready to even get up into handstand. Handstand pose, it requires a lot of arm strength. And it requires a lot of leg strength. So to take the pose, first of all, we're going to take the pose from upside down like this. So you're going to press through the feet. You're going to take the arms, bring the arms forward of the chest. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. See that the palms are facing the ceiling. So as you press through the fingers, spread the fingers wide apart. Wrap the outer armpits in. So the outer triceps are firming in towards the ears. Trapezius muscles are moving away from the spine, so the shoulder blades are moving down the spine. The belly is hugging in. The frontal ribs are softening here. And then look up towards those fingers. So as you look up towards the fingers, you're continuing to hug the belly in. You're continuing to press down through the feet. And you're continuing to hug the outer thighs in. As you exhale, look on forward and release the hands down. Good. So that's the impression of the pose. Except we're going to be looking at the ground, not looking up at the ceiling. So to take the pose, you'll take your t-shirt. You can tuck it if you want. And then you're going to take yourself to the wall. You're going to bring your hands about 3 to 4 inches away from the wall. And you're going to spread the fingers like you're taking downward facing dog. And in fact, you are going to take downward facing dog here. So walk the feet back, tuck the toes underneath, find your way into downward facing dog. Perfect. Now look in between your hands, and you're going to begin to walk your feet forward towards the hands until the shoulders come over the wrist. So once the shoulders come over the wrist, spread across the fingers, wrap the outer triceps in, and plant down from the thumb to the forefinger here. So you're really pressing through those fingers. Now bend the left knee. Take the right leg. The right leg is like a lever, and you're just going to kind of swing that leg back and forth. That's it. Just to feel into that leg. Now,
as you press through those fingers, begin to swing into that leg. So you have this lever of a leg. And maybe, now you think that you swing up with the right leg. It's in fact, you're jumping with the left leg. So the right leg, yes, you're lifting up, but you're using the left leg to jump. So notice if you can use that left leg, there you go, to really lift you up. So once you get up to the wall, then you're going to press again through the fingers. You're going to see that the fingers are spread wide apart. Take the forearms forward, take the triceps in, and continue to look down between those hands. Hug the belly in and begin to breathe. So you can keep the legs at the wall. You can come into a forward fold. So usually when we take handstand, we take it twice, 2 or 3 times, just to build the momentum in the body. If you're kicking up and you slam into the wall, please consider taking another pose. You guys can always send me a video of your practice so that way I can see what you guys are doing, and then I can maybe make modifications for what I think. The goal is not to kick up to the wall. The goal is to develop your arm strength so much that you have control over your entire chest, thoracic region, and legs. So that's really the goal of the practice. Yes, we use a wall as we begin our practice to press up, but eventually we begin to press up from the center of the room. So one more time, this time stepping the right leg in, looking forward in between those hands. You're going to use your left leg now as the lever. And remember, you're not going to kick the left leg up. You're not going like this, okay? You're actually jumping up from the right leg. So even though you're using your left leg, I'm actually jumping from my right leg. So my right leg is the one that is the momentum of the pose. And then I can take my legs up the wall. Now look down at the hands. Spread across the fingers. Feel the forearms drawing forward. Feel the biceps engaged and in. Keep lifting here as you draw the belly in. So the belly is the second part that I found that is very difficult, because the belly we have to engage here. Release the head on down and breathe. All right. So now, from our handstand, we're going to come into a downward facing dog again. It's always good to take a downward facing dog. All right. And then from downward facing dog, you're going to take your legs forward of the chest. You're going to hug the knees into the chest here. Take a Jartha Parivartanasana. Just let those knees drift over the left. And come back to center. And let those knees drift over to the right. Back to center. Now take your hands, walk your hands to your feet. See that your hands are touching your outer mat. Roll the left shoulder under, roll the right shoulder under. Press down through the feet. Feel the calves into the shins. Feel the thighs into the hamstrings. Belly is drawing in. Shoulder blades are moving into the center chest. Roll the left shoulder under. Roll the right shoulder under. Keep pressing down through those feet. Continue to breathe here as the sternum moves into the center chest. It's called bridge pose. Setubandha Sarvangasana. As you take bridge pose, just breathing here. Great pose, great counter pose to our handstand. And as you exhale, lower that pelvis all the way down. Release the arms out to the sides for a moment and be here. So once again, you can move into bridge pose. Some of us students may want to move into Urdhva Dhanurasana. So if you want to move into the upward facing wheel pose, you would take the hands behind the back. You draw the elbows in towards one another. See that the elbows are aligned with the shoulders. See that the feet are pressing down. Peel up the pelvis here. As you peel up the pelvis, hug the belly in. Begin to lift the belly up. Begin to lift the pelvis up. Press down through the feet. Press down through the fingers. And begin to inhale, come up onto the top of the head. Pause here. So now you want to see that your forearms above the wrists are driving forward. And then you want to feel your biceps engaged and your triceps hugging in. And then from here, you just float the shoulders down the spine as you lift the chest on up. So the belly's hugging in here. The belly's hugging in. And as you exhale, lower down, lift the chin towards the chest and release. Good, you can take one more bridge pose if you like. You can take one more Urdhva Dhanurasana. It's your call. Hands come behind the back if you're taking Urdhva. Feet are parallel.
you're taking bridge pose in the legs, okay? So the legs are exactly in bridge pose. The only difference is that we pressed up onto the top of the head. You see that the forearms are driving forward. You see that the biceps are hugging in. Straighten those arms all the way and lift the chest. Look on down. That's the only difference. And as you exhale, lower that head on down and release down to the mat. Okay, from here, you're going to take your blocks and place them on either side of your legs. I always like ending class in this way. You're going to take your feet together and the knees apart into Baddha Konasana. You can take the arms out to the sides and just breathe here. And eventually what I'd like you to do is bring the knees together, take the hands under the flesh of the buttocks, move the buttocks flesh forward, extend the left leg, extend the right leg forward, take your arms out to your sides, and just breathe here. This is called Shavasana pose. The shoulder blades are moving into the center chest, collarbones are spread wide apart. The weight is releasing down from the bicep all the way down to the wrist. The weight is releasing all the way from the pelvis all the way down towards the heels. So bring the knees to a bent position. Roll the body weight onto one side. Push your way on up and find your way into a seated position. As you come into a seated position, bring the hands into the center chest. And if you'd like, you can join me in an Om. Bringing the hands to the center chest, taking a deep breath in. Releasing the chin towards the chest, palms come to the tops of the thighs, palms face up. Gently lift the head and softly open the eyes. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. If you like the practice, please consider thumbs up, like sign, heart sign, wherever. Please consider subscribing to my page as well. I hope that you guys have a phenomenal day. And And thank you guys so much. So once again, thank you guys. I hope that you guys have a great day. If you're watching on Facebook, please thumbs up, like, heart, comment, and share. And if you're watching on YouTube, please find your way to my Facebook page. I do all my videos live on Facebook. So I hope you guys have a phenomenal rest of your day. If you feel like Venmoing, please feel free to send a Venmo. And I will look forward to seeing you all very, very soon. Namaste, yogis. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you all soon. Bye, guys.